Hello everyone, welcome back to Southpaw 210 Outdoors Classic Hunting Movie Reviews. Now today will probably be the most modern video that I review, but before I get back into the older videos, there's something or someone that I need to talk about. So today what we're going to be discussing is the best and worst of Tred Barta.
I'm Captain Tred Barta, and I'm one of the best big game fishermen in the world. I've caught more big-eyed tuna than any man alive on rod and reel. Over 70 big game animals have fallen to my longbow. World records? I got them. I do things the hard way, and like it or not, it's my way. Every time I hunt or fish, it's an adventure, and this is one of them.
So around 2005, there used to be a couple different channels on TV other than the Outdoor Channel, the Sportsman's Channel. There was a channel called Versus and OLN, the Outdoor Life Network, I believe what it was called. But anyway, I remember I turned on Versus and I seen this guy and he was fishing, and I'm not very interested in a lot of fishing videos, or at least at the time was not interested in a lot of fishing videos. So when I turned it on, there was this guy, and he was yelling, and he had his son on the boat, and there was another guy with him, and it was exciting. It was exciting to watch, not just because he was yelling at him, but because he was really into what he was doing. It wasn't just he wasn't just casting the bait out. And of course, now he was out in the ocean. He was deep sea fishing. So, and it went to a commercial, and it said, "We'll be right back for more of the best and worst of Tred Barta." And then I got to thinking, I had a book. I know I've heard this name before. Where have I heard this name before? So I had was purchasing outdoor books, hunting books and things like that for my library, and reading them, and I remember I came across a book with that name, Tred Barta. So I went back and I checked my books, and what I had was a book called The Best and Worst of Tred Barta. So then I started reading this book after I seen this small clip on TV of this guy that was fishing, and it was really interesting, his takes and his outlook on hunting and fishing and the outdoors. And the more I got to reading it and looking, he had taken several big game animals and he was hunting with a longbow. And then I did some more research, and he held some records in the world with the longbow. And this book was made in 1994. So then I started watching his show, and I really started liking his show because everything that he was talking about, he didn't have, he wasn't pushing sponsors. His show wasn't curtailed to placement of a certain camo pattern. It wasn't to a certain product. It was him. It was his way, on the way that he did things, and that's all his show was about. So numerous episodes in the early 2000s, and then of course we'll talk about that later, what had happened. But so mainly on this episode, what I'm going to focus on is, I think, one of the best hunts that he had, and is very meaningful, is a grizzly bear hunt. I would like to go over that with you, and also show you a couple clips here and there of what I witnessed in the early 2000s.
Yesterday, I read the tide wrong with the wind holding the tide back. It blew 35, 40 knots. I lost half of my rig. I lost 6 strings of decoys. I got my butt kicked. I got 1 shot or 2 shots at birds. I got skunked. Damn it, just outside the rig. But guess what? Welcome to hunting in the real world. Today, it's Sunday. It's my day off, and I'm going again. It's supposed to rain like the dickens today. It's right at the freezing level. But I can go, or I can't go. I can think of 100 excuses why not to go. I'm going. You can't explain why just a little bit of movement of the boat in one position or another makes the birds feel more comfortable, but it does. Good boy. Absolutely beautiful. All right. 1, 2, 3. 3 old squad down. Come on, Buster. More old squad, kid. Okay. And the bird dove. Under the worst of conditions, it's turning out to be a great day. To the right. It's turning into a world-class day. I've only been out here 2 hours. Get out of my camp. Buster. Ah, boy. Gonna limit out today, I can feel it. I had 1 shell in my gun. World-class miss. I didn't cut a feather on that bird. Great miss. 11 by 6 feet, missed him by 2. That bird was 60 yards right in the pattern. Flew through every BB. Wow. Where is he, Buster? Where is he? There he is. Back! All right. Old squaw, 50 yards left to right. My late father, Joe Barta, died about 12 years ago. I loved him very much. He was one tough son of a bitch. One of the greatest lessons that my dad imparted to me was that showing up is 90% of the game. And you know what, it's true. This weekend, I had every reason not to go. The weather, it was cold, it was cloudy, it was windy. My friends couldn't go. I could have easily watched the TV, sat on the couch, and done something else. You know what? The second day I thought about my dad. 90% of life is showing up. This weekend is a prime example.
You're a good boy.
Huh? Huh? What a hunt I had. World-class hunting. I don't care if you're in Argentina, Venezuela, no matter where you are. World-class gunning. What's it all about? It's showing up. It's doing the work. It's not giving up. What's the net? My backyard. I didn't give up, and I had one of the greatest hunts that I had. I almost got my limit. I shot 2 boxes of shells. My dog brought the best of birds back, the finest dog work I've ever seen. The first day of disaster? Absolutely not. The first day only sweetens the victory of the second day. If there's a moral to the story, I bring it back to my dad. 90% of life is just showing up and doing the work. The Tred Barta way, the hard way.
So somebody that would always hunt with Tred was a guide by the name of Dan Harrison. Now, Dan Harrison and Tred were friends. I believe Dan Harrison ran a guide outfit out of Colorado at the time. So Tred did a lot of hunting out in Colorado. He met Dan. They became friends and this and that. Now, at this time, Tred was living in Southampton. So, but anyway, Tred, whenever he would go on these hunts and the crews were there, him and Dan, it kind of reminded me of the older days of like Fitzgerald and Folkrod, the way that they would be on each other, the way they do it. So here's a few clips of Dan Harrison and Tred Barta on some of his hunts.
Yeah, but then
That's up
so
to you.
is there such a good shape? Is there no problem?
Is there any way to get up there by going down?
No.
Okay, I'll see up on top and we'll run up there.
Okay. With age, you're supposed to become smarter.
Yeah, well,
He must not be that old.
he told me to train. I go home, I train like a madman. And every time I get ahead of you, you have an attitude. What's that about?
Just wondering if you was okay.
If I'm okay?
Yeah.
No, I'm not okay. We got our butts kicked bad today. I've got cactus needles in my left cheek, and my right cheek is absolutely frozen from sitting on the rock. I'm a mess. And tomorrow's another day.
Bill,
Dan, Tred,
what's going on?
just come over, will you? It'll only take a second. Ouch! You get it? Oh, that hurts.
Don't ever ask me to do that again.
I know, yeah. You try taking a cactus needle out of your ass yourself. You can't do it.
Enough ground to cover. It's just, I think we'd be better off in down on the band.
How come we always do what you say?
Because you're a corporate jet salesman.
This part of the video I want to talk about is the Grizzly Hunt. The Grizzly Hunt that Tred Barta went on, he had went 9 consecutive times to try and harvest a grizzly bear with a longbow with homemade wooden arrows that he makes. So I just think that this is one of the best journeys or stories for a hunt at that time, and it just it goes to show you the kind of perseverance that Tred Barta had. And what I'd like to do with you is show you some clips of this, and I'll let you see what I'm talking about.
There are many experiences in life that just celebrate manhood. I call it just being male, and I love it. Taking a huge mule deer buck or a whitetail with the bow or the gun. The thrill of a bull elk bugling will send a chill up your spine. What I'm about to do is incredibly hard and incredibly dangerous. I'm going to northern British Columbia to take a grizzly bear and a black bear with the bow. The longbow, wooden arrows on the ground stalk, and I've got to get within 20 yards. I don't know what the trophy is because I haven't accomplished my goal, but I do know this. After 15 years of traveling, I come back more humble and a better person every time I do it. Come with me to British Columbia. Come with me and share my adventure. 20 yards. Let's go get my beer. Oh, what a shot. What am I doing? Play acting. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm simulating exactly what can happen in British Columbia. You know, I guess a lot of hunters are just better than I am because they seem to be able to shoot in their backyard and not have to do this. I do. I'm building my confidence. When I go to BC, I don't think that I can close a deal. I know that I can. And that's what it takes. Good shot. I show it the way it is. This shot here, bad shot, is on the way, no good. That is a kill shot. And these two here are absolutely perfect. Let me tell you something. Here I am, finally. Bella Coola, British Columbia, on the hunt of a lifetime. My 9th consecutive trip after grizzlies with the bow. We're going 40, 45 miles up the coast to the supposed wilderness. But let me tell you something. If you don't think you're in the wilderness, last night a cougar right here in the marina on the road, less than 50 yards from here, attacked a human walking a dog. Can you imagine? I mean, a full attack by a cougar. I pledged to myself that I am never going to give up trying to get a grizzly with the bow. I may never get one in my lifetime. I may get one in 15 minutes, but I am not going to give up. Someday, I'm going to have a grizzly that walks in my lap. Someday, the wind is going to be right. Someday, I'm going to come over a knoll, and there he's going to be, and I'm going to close the yardage, and I'm going to shoot him, and I'm going to make a perfect shot. And you know what? When I walked out my door at Southampton, I hugged my wife and I said, I'm willing to fail, and therefore I can win. And I mean it. And it's emotional. You try so hard for so many years, and you can't get it done. I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. It's just the way it is.
Tred and Dan are they've been hunting now. They're on the last day, last evening of the hunt. Dan is back up for Tred, and Tred has his guide, and Dan is the backup gun for Tred on this. So what ends up happening is the last day, last night, they end up cutting a track, and well, I'll let you take a look at it.
It's a good track right here. It's a good bear. It's a good bear. It's behind the foot there. You just come across the slough here. He's heading out of the meadow.
Fresh?
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, it's a good sized bear. They move back and forth. It's that time of day.
Where's he going, do you think?
He's probably going to head up, just up over a little bank and up over a skidder trail and then into that big meadow to feed. Perfect. Just go down, stay tight to the bush, and with a little bit of luck, he might turn, come walking towards you.
Well, you go with Tred. I'm just gonna get on this side.
Okay.
Focus and stick 'em.
Okay, easy now. He might come over the bank here. Take it easy, guys. Just listen. Be quiet now. Listen. He's crashing around down there. Perfect.
Don't shoot him, I drilled him.
Perfect shot, Joe.
I drilled him.
Perfect. No, that was a good shot. Excellent. You drilled him. Perfect.
Are you okay?
Yeah, you're perfect. Perfect. Right in the boiler room. Good. Perfect. Good work, mister. Good work, mister. Go ahead.
10 yards?
Yeah.
No,
Barely.
no more than 10 yards. Here's blood. Look at this, right?
Yeah.
He's pumping right here.
You betcha.
You
Real
know,
good.
I have screwed up so many times in my life, and I'm willing to admit it. We look at this bear, there's a little white hair right behind his shoulder, and that arrow hit right where I put it. Longbow Grizzly, homemade wooden arrow. I can't believe it. Look at that.
Yeah. Perfect shot.
How didn't it go for 25, 30 yards, eh?
He rolled, pretty much rolled down the hill and just come down here and crashed around, and he was basically done.
I can't explain it, but a bear is one of the only animals that's different from like an elk or a deer when you harvest the animal. The animal is so great that it's almost, the animal being dead is not a trophy. He's larger than life. We did it! Look at his head! You know what the greatest trophy was? The greatest trophy was calling Annie to tell her that I got the trophy. Life is not about the trophies we collect. Life is about the road traveled to get there. It's not the bear. It's the quest. It's not the bear. It's the challenge. It's more about not giving up and believing in yourself. And in life, if you push and push, the opportunity for greatness of ever what it is you see comes. That's what I brought out of the hunt.
Got something to tell you.
What?
Congratulations on your first grizzly.
Thank you.
I just think this is a phenomenal hunt. Sure, it's not the biggest grizzly bear in the world, but the bear did score Pope and Young, and he did make the books because it was a longbow that took the bear. But the the one thing that I have always, I guess, admired about Tred Barta is that in his eyes it was never ever the taking of the animal. It was the adventure to get there. It was the hunt itself. The harvest of an animal is just an icing on the cake per se. To him, it meant more to be out there, to go get it, and to just do it his way. Now, did I agree with everything that Tred Barta said? No, absolutely I did not. He didn't believe in game cameras and hunting out of blinds and things like that, but that's why, it was called Do It the Hard Way, the Barta Way. He did it his way, and that's what his show was about. And he had many more shows after this. Then in 2009, Tred had a spinal stroke. He had a spinal stroke. He was getting ready to go bear hunting. A couple days before getting ready to head black bear hunting, he had a spinal stroke. He started getting paralyzed in his legs. His left leg first, and then it moved down to his right leg. And within 3 days, he was paralyzed from the mid-chest down. Very, very rare. A spinal stroke is very, very rare. It's a freak occurrence that had happened. But, he kept hunting. He was in a wheelchair, and he was hunting out of a wheelchair. And you could see how a lot of the things that he had talked about or said stayed the same, but a lot of them changed. Because now he was at a point where he was going to have to maybe change some things about the way he hunted. And his main goal was to be an inspiration for disabled hunters, disabled veterans, children that had disabilities. This is something that really drove him and kept him going. He wrote a second book during this period of his life. It's called Driven. I don't have that book, but I do have the original Best and Worst of Tred Barta before the show came out. And as this was going on, I reached out to Dan Harrison, who is the guide, or Tred's friend and guide, and I told him, hey, I wanted to check on Tred. I know you have his ear. Can you just tell him that I'm a fan and this and that. So me and Dan Harrison started talking, and I give him some more information. My wife was pregnant at the time, and I didn't think nothing of it, and he told me he would tell Tred, and he appreciated it and things like this. Then I was contacted by Tred and his wife, and everything that's going on in his life, he still had the time to. He wrote me a couple letters. He sent some stuff for my son when he was born. Had little shirts and onesies that said "Do It the Hard Way, the Barta Way," and he sent my son, when he was being born. He sent him a picture with a nice letter that he wrote to him about being born, and he sent these letters like this to me. So of course that meant a lot to me, and as a fan, that it's nice to hear from somebody that you've watched over the years, and so Tred kept hunting, and he did things, still doing it the hard way. He was still hunting with a longbow out of a wheelchair, and and he kept persevering. But then he ended up getting a blood cancer. Everything just kept stacking up against him. And if you read his Facebook pages at this time, all his posts are still up. You can see that he would have ups and downs. He would go through depression, but he would always try to uplift people. But one thing about Tred is that he played everything. He didn't hold nothing back. And if he was having a bad day, he would tell you. And, that's just the way it is. Then in 2019, he went on a big solo adventure to Alaska. He did a big Alaskan adventure, went by himself. He made a round trip from, I believe he was down around Arkansas up to Alaska, and then in August of 2019 he was killed in a traffic accident. So you know, I just wanted to cover this. I wanted to cover Tred Barta because in the early 2000s he was a big influence on the way I hunted, and I think that even though he was vocal and had his own opinions about stuff, I think generally he was had another side to him that you know, a lot of people probably didn't know. And when you read the books and you read his posts and things like that, you can see that you know, coming through. And of course I didn't agree with everything that Tred Barta said, but I did agree with his philosophy, and I did agree with the way he hunted, and a lot of the things that he talked about made sense. And but anyway, I'll be continuing the video reviews more into the 1980s and 1990s, but I just wanted to cover this more recent one with Tred Barta just because he man. If you ever have a chance to check out, if you can grab a copy of any of these DVDs of the Best and Worst of Tred Barta, there's only 2 different versions. One was when he's from Versus Country, and I can't remember if this was through Versus or Sportsman's Channel at the time. I can't remember, but anyway, these are the videos. The book, The Best and Worst of Tred Barta, is an excellent book, especially if anybody is into deep sea fishing. But not only is it about deep sea fishing, it's a lot about hunting with a longbow, hunting in Africa, and just the adventures that he's been on. It's a great book. So anyway, thanks guys, as always. Stay safe, and I'll see you on the next video.
At the Barta household, everybody hunts. Meet Skippy. Razor sharp teeth, long proboscidean ridge. Look at the barrel chest. 9 mouse kills, 2 chickens and a rabbit to his credit. Absolutely deadly. By the way, I'm the president of the Dachshund Hunting Club. And this is my 1995 Ford custom pickup. Brand new custom paint, 5-speed forward, last of the inline 6s, the best torque of any truck ever built. I've got a custom winch in the front, I've got a second winch in the back. And baby, this ain't plywood. 4.5-inch pure mahogany, 16 coats of lacquer, custom dog kennel. You want to talk about machismo? 5.5-inch stainless steel exhaust. I can back this baby 6 feet in the water if I have to. She'll run. And that's not it. No, it's not it. I've got a sunroof, a custom sunroof, full pot of gauges, oil pressure, 10 amps, and an RPM gauge. 5-speed on the floor, cell phone holder, vinyl seat. It doesn't get any better than this. This truck runs on 100% testosterone. Who needs Viagra? That's the sound of success, baby.